This is Mr. AIP, Eddie Edwards, and you're listening to Interactive Wrestling Radio.
You're listening to Interactive Wrestling Radio, featuring the interactive interview, courtesy of WrestlingEpicenter.com.
Good morning, everybody. I'd like to welcome you to this week's Impact Wrestling Media Teleconference. This is Ross Foreman. I'd like to welcome our special guest, Eddie Edwards. Good morning. Good afternoon. Well, I guess it would be morning for you.
Good morning. Yeah, how you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you doing is the bigger question.
I'm doing good. Much better than expected, actually, at this point, as far as my eye injury goes. But I'm doing good.
Well, as everybody probably has read, it was a rather rough week for you down in Orlando. We were down there about a week or 10 days or so ago. Why don't you bring us up to speed on what happened and where you're at on recovery?
Yeah, I've had a better few days than last time, but I ended up getting hit in the face with a baseball bat by Sami Callihan and OVE, and my face. I had to get rushed to the hospital in an ambulance and had to get CAT scan and all that stuff. Turned out I had a small fracture around my eye and a small fracture on the right side of my nose, and a couple cuts and a pretty sweet black eye. But luckily, at the time they told me I wouldn't need surgery, and in the long run, it looks like everything's going to be okay. As of now, the pain's down, which is obviously a good thing, and my vision is just about back to 100%. But like I said, I'm definitely further along than I expected I would be at this point. So it could always be worse, that's for sure.
It was a scary moment, I will admit that. An ambulance in the back there, but glad to hear everything sounds like it's coming back to normal for you.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I'm definitely on the right path, the right track right now.
And no doubt you have a little payback for Sami Callihan forthcoming.
Yeah, I mean that goes without saying. At this point, obviously the focus is on Sami and OVE. And things happen in the ring, but then there's certain lines you don't cross, and Sami and OV, they seem to know how to cross the line a little too easily.
You've quickly become public enemy number one around here.
for me, that's for sure. I know that.
Around the entire Eddie Edwards family, I would imagine.
Yeah. I mean, I know, the wifey's not too happy about it. And, of course, my friends, a bunch of my friends and the boys in the back, obviously, kind of feel the same way. And a lot of people reached out. So that was, the positive in this negative was, so many of my friends reached out and just to touch base. So that was a nice thing to happen.
Alrighty. Well, we will. Anything else going on for you these days? Anything else busy?
Nah, right now, just trying to recover and just try to get back and ready to take on Sami and OVE, man.
Alrighty. Well, we will open up for questions from the media. Again, as usual, I ask you to identify yourself, your media outlet, and please limit it to one question at a time, and then we will come back if you have a follow-up question for Eddie.
Been received in India.
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm good, man. My question was, how do you feel from going from a six-sided ring to a four-sided one?
It's I'm used to working a four-sided ring, so it's really nothing too new. That's how I was brought up. That's how I train, and aside from Impact Wrestling, everywhere else was for the most part a four-sided ring. So, it's nothing new to me, and I think that everybody's ready to just continue doing what we do, whether it's a six-sided ring or a four-sided ring. I don't think it's gonna stop or prevent anybody from doing anything we like to do in there.
Hi, it's Don Davies from Slam Wrestling. You had an amazing year in 2017 for Pro Wrestling Noah. Do you have any plans in 2018 in Pro Wrestling Noah?
In my mind, I always want to go back. I'm always prepared, to go back to Japan for Pro Wrestling Noah. At this time, there's no set date, but I'm always in conversation, always in talks with them to try to get back over. Obviously winning the GHC Heavyweight Championship, that was one of my goals as a professional wrestler. So, I was unfortunate I lost that title, but I have my sights set on other things over there as well. Maybe I can go over with, somebody from Impact and do some tag stuff. I think that'd be a unique opportunity for us. So I'm keeping the options open. I'm just looking forward to getting back over there.
Hey, Eddie, this is Graham Matthews with HinterRoad.com. We saw a little bit of your wife, Alicia Edwards, on Impact Wrestling last year. What was it like working with her on TV, and what's her current status with Impact Wrestling?
Yeah, man, it was cool. It was, for a long time, obviously, we met through wrestling, so that was always our connection. But then for a long time, we'd do some indie shows here and there together. But to be able to, work at Impact Wrestling together was a whole new ball game for us, and it was a unique opportunity, and it was pretty cool. We didn't get sick of each other traveling together, which is always a nice thing. And she's still a part of Impact Wrestling, and she will be back sometime soon. That's for damn sure.
Hey, Eddie, it's Mike Johnson from PW Insider. How are you, sir?
Good, Mike. How you doing, man?
Good to talk to you. There's been some speculation that your deal with Impact is up next month. Can you clarify what your contractual status with the company right now is?
Impact Wrestling has been my home for the past few years, and it will continue to be my home for the foreseeable future.
All right. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, man.
This is Stephanie from Steelcha Magazine in UK. My question will be pretty simple. What 2018 on Impact Wrestling would be for Eddie Edwards in terms of championships, match? What are your goals for 2018? Thank you.
Yeah, my goals right now, in the immediate future are, to go after Sami and Ovi and get this thing, get this revenge accomplished on Sami. But then, in the background, there's always that heavyweight championship. That's why I am a pro wrestler. That's why everybody becomes a pro wrestler, to become the world champion. So that's always in my sights at all times. It's always on my mind. But right now I have to focus on, on Sami and OVE and trying to get the revenge for, basically trying to take one of my eyes. So that's my plans right now.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hey, this is Riju from Sportskeeda again. I was listening to an interview with Sami Callihan in which he said you had a chat with him after the incident happened. Could you shed some light on what was discussed in this talk? Thank you.
Yeah, of course. I can't really specify what was said, in the back, but, we had a conversation, we exchanged some words, and, that will be, between us, but, some things are done with intent, some things are done by accident, and, some people are up in the air as to how this happened in the ring, and, I'll let people try to figure it out on their own.
You may now ask your question.
Hi, Ryan Bowman from thegorillaposition.com. You had so many tag team accomplishments when you entered Impact Wrestling. How important was it for you to establish yourself as a singles competitor, not just in the U.S., but also with what you've done internationally?
Yeah, obviously coming into Impact Wrestling as part of the Wolves with Davey Richards, that's what we wanted to do, and we wanted to, continue as a tag team, and obviously we saw success like that. But I think one of the strong points for us as a team was at any point you could break us apart, or we could go singles, or we could get back together, but when we went out on our own, we would still have success. So I think that was a very unique thing where you don't see with a lot of tag teams where if you break them up, they tend to, kind of fizzle out. But I feel when you separated us, we would still find that success. And, over this past year, obviously, Pro Wrestling Noah winning the championship there and, being a former heavyweight champion for Impact. If there was any doubt, which I don't know there was, but I feel like I proved myself. And, but, I obviously am very grateful for the time that I had with Davey, and who knows what would happen down the road.
Muted.
Hey, Eddie, it's Mike Johnson again, sir. In the last year, the company has had obviously a larger spotlight in the Canadian markets. I was curious if you could break down how you feel about working more in front of the Canadian audience, and if there's a noticeable difference from the performer's perspective in how the Canadian fans react versus the fans in Orlando.
As far as getting to work in front of a new crowd, that's always a great thing for any company, especially for Impact Wrestling, to be able to expand the brand right now. As far as for us in the ring, we're gonna go out, we're gonna do our stuff that that never changes. But to be able to apply our trade in front of people who may not have seen us live, or may not have seen us on TV and stuff like that, it's just a new chance to bring new fans in. So there was a sense of, for myself anyway, a sense of added pressure. Like, all right, let's not drop the ball here. Let's take this. Let's run with it. Let's show these people what we can do and what we can accomplish, and try to get them on board. That's the main goal.
Given that the Orlando fans have seen everything under the sun the last 12, 15 years of Impact history, is it a little easier as a performer to get a reaction out of those Canadian fans versus trying to get those Orlando fans to react when they've obviously experienced everything you can imagine?
I think it's situational. I think it kind of happens anywhere you go. If it's a fan or fans who have seen everything who are kind of jaded, they're going to be a bit tougher. But even in Orlando, there's going to be fans who are, who love wrestling or into everything. And obviously those are the fans that, we love and we want all the time. So I think it's all situational. It all depends on what's going on in the ring and what each fan has seen on their own. Yeah, it's tough to kind of break it down that way.
All right. Thank you for the time, sir.
Thanks, Mike.
Eddie, you got a question from Lee Mead of Live Radio in Scotland. Both you and your wife are wrestlers. Do you watch each other's matches as they happen, or do you critique each other afterward?
We of course I try to, as much as we can, we try to watch the matches as they happen. But obviously at tapings and stuff like that, sometimes you're running all over the place doing other things. But any chance I get, or any chance she gets to watch my match, we make sure to do that. And then, of course, we're a team. We're a team not just in wrestling, but we're a team in life, and we want to support each other. So if there's something that she thinks I can do better, she'll tell me. If something I feel that she could do better or change, I'll let her know. We always try to strive to make each other better, and I think that's what makes us a special. It makes us a couple that works, So I think that's a good thing.
Hi there, I'm Nathan Strays from In-Ring Pop. My question is to you, Eddie. When you got attacked by Sami Callihan, what was the thoughts that were going through your mind at the time, and has he shown any remorse for what he's done to you?
What were my thoughts? What were his thoughts?
Your thoughts.
Well, I mean, as soon as it happened, I grabbed my eye and I got out of the ring and got to the back as fast as I could. And as I'm walking up the ramp, my thought is, I hope my eyeball is not in my hand or in the ring or somewhere. You know what I mean? I had no idea. I just, I got hit. I felt that hit to my eye, and I just, I assume the worst and hope for the best. And obviously, in the end, it worked out better than it could have. So I'm very grateful for that. Sami, he said a few things to me here and there, and I think he has some remorse, maybe, but I can't get into his mind. You guys are gonna have to ask him. I don't really know where his head is at with this whole situation.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hey, Eddie, this is Graham Matthews from HiddenRoad.com again. Lashley's kind of been in the news recently for his departure from Impact Wrestling. What were your thoughts on working with him over the World Championship in late 2016, early 2017? And did you expect to win the world title upon coming to Impact about 4 years ago as a tag team competitor?
Man, Lashley's the man. He's a great guy outside the ring. He's obviously an unbelievable talent, just a freak of nature in the ring. And I always felt that we had good chemistry. I always felt that, when we went into the ring, he would bring the best out of me, and I would do my best, to bring the best out of him, which obviously in wrestling, that is what you want to do. That's what we want to accomplish. I've said this before, I would wrestle Lashley any day of the week, every day of the week. It doesn't matter. I really enjoyed those matches. I always felt the pain and the bumps and bruises after, but it was what was worth it. As far as becoming heavyweight champion, like I said, that's always the goal. That's all of our goals in wrestling. We want to become the world champion. Did I think it would happen the way it did or when it did? Maybe not. But I always had that goal, so that was always on that list of goals, which I try to break. I always try to break it down and went from win the tag team championships, win the X Division championship, and then win the heavyweight championship. And lucky enough for me, I was able to check all those off my list, and I'm very thankful for that.
Hi Eddie, David Dunn with the New Zealand Pro Wrestling Informer. As a world-travelled pro wrestler, you've been all over the globe. How important do you think it is for Impact Wrestling to maintain working relationships with various companies around the world, like AAA in Mexico, Pro Wrestling Noah in Japan, etc.?
I think that I think it's a very important thing. I think it opens up the door to endless possibilities, to matchups, matches that you thought you'd never see, and just special events that people thought they would never see and never be a part of. Like, if it wasn't for the working relationship between Pro Wrestling Noah and Impact Wrestling, I probably wouldn't have got the chance to become a world champion over there, to become a GHC champion. So it just opens up doors, and that's what it is in this business. You want to have working relationships, you want to have chances, you want to have opportunities, and by having all these working relationships, that's what it provides, is opportunity, and that's the biggest thing in professional wrestling, getting that chance.
Fantastic, thank you.
Hey, David.
Yes.
Well, quick question for you. It's 4 a.m. Are you waking up, or are you still going to bed?
I've opted to still go to bed. I've stayed up all night for this one.
All right. Well, there you go. Congratulations. Thank you for sticking around. Eddie, you been to New Zealand?
Not yet. That's on the bucket list, though.
All right. Well, I'm sure David will give you the VIP treatment when you get over there.
Yeah, come on over. It's a wonderful place.
Hell yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Hopefully, at some point.
Hey, Riju from Sportskeeda again. Just wanted to know your thoughts on Austin Aries coming back to Impact Wrestling.
About Aries coming back?
Yes.
Yeah, I think that's it's a great thing. Aries, he was a huge part of Impact Wrestling just a few years ago. So to have him come back, and obviously he's stepped his game up, he's elevated his game, and to be able to come back with the new crop of wrestlers, new crop of superstars in Impact Wrestling, again, it gives us some unique matches, some unique matchups. He's a true professional. He's one of the best there is in the game right now, as far as on the mic and in the ring. So that's hard to come by. So he's something special, and it's nice to have him back home, as we say, at Impact Wrestling.
Stephanie for Stircha Magazine in UK again. I may be French, but I'm representing a British media, and I noticed that you've been working in the United Kingdom for something like 10 years. And I wanted to ask you about the evolution of British wrestling and the crowd and everything that you see, you noticed over this last 10 years. And thank you again.
Thank you. Yeah, it's pretty amazing to see what's going on in the UK scene right now. It's just professional wrestling in general. Independent wrestling is just, it's on fire right now, and it's a real cool thing to see, because when I did go over, I think maybe 2008 was the first time I'd gone over. 2000, yeah, around there. But to see how it was back then, it was so had ups and downs back then, but to see how it is now, it's the game is just elevated. It's amazing right now. You can find a good show, an amazing show to go to, almost any day of the week, and especially on the weekend. And there's a lot of talent over there right now. And I think it's guys that are going to be breaking out very shortly. Hopefully, internationally, hopefully they get a chance over here. But I love going to the UK. It's especially right now, because the crowd's so hot right now. It's a truly special time right now over there. And hopefully everybody realizes that, because unfortunately in wrestling there's ups and downs, and you never know how long things are going to last. So hey, don't take it for granted. That's my word of advice.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello again, it's Francis Race from Ring Pop. My question is this: how important do you think it is for Impact to do like international tours, like maybe to the UK or other countries, for example? In your opinion?
I think, yeah, obviously, a few years ago, that was one of our biggest things to do, was to go to the UK and do our UK tour. And I think, it's an important thing, even right now, just getting back into Canada and stuff like that. You want to be able to show the product to as many eyes as you can. You want them to be able to go to the live event and feel the atmosphere. It's such a unique thing. Impact Wrestling is a unique thing where you need to be there to experience it. And sometimes it can be lost on TV and on video, but if you're there live, then you can truly feel it and truly see the excitement. So the more we get to travel, the more eyes we get to be in front of, the better.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Hey, we have an email question here. What were some of the things you did after you came back for the last few days down in Orlando?
When I came back after being hurt, I'm guessing?
Yes.
Well, although I was hurt, I still had revenge on my mind. So I made sure to get involved with Sami and OVE the best I could. I had one eye, but I could still swing.
Hey, Vijay from Sportskeeda again. One of my favorite matches that you were in was the one in the Hardy compound, total non-stop deletion. What are your memories from the match, and do you have basically that? What are your memories from that particular match?
Yeah, that was pretty cool, and definitely a unique match to have. When those matches were happening, when they were doing the stuff at the Hardy compound, right from the first time I saw it, I was like, I want to be I need to do this. I want to be a part of this, because it was such a cool thing. It's such a different thing in professional wrestling. So when I got word that we were going to be doing a match there, I was pumped about it. And, when, as far as, bucket list things in professional wrestling, I can honestly say that wrestling on a volcano, that wasn't on my bucket list, but now that I've done it, I'm very happy that it can be on my bucket list, because I never thought I would be getting blown up on a volcano while fighting Bobby Lashley. So it was a very unique experience, but a very awesome experience.
And we got a question from who is this? The Markout Mania podcast. You were trained by Killer Kowalski. There were some huge names coming out of this school, including yourself, Triple H, Big John Studd, Chyna, and others. If you have to single it down to one thing that you learned from Killer, talk to me about that. And what advice did he give you that helped you most model your career?
One of the most important things Killer taught was, to everything had to be real. There's no pulling anything. There's no half this, half that, no half-assed anything. You're either all in or you're all out. And that was something that I've carried that with me throughout my career. I remember walking up the schools with there, and he was always there. First person there, last one to leave, and that's a mentality that I tried to instill myself. I actually won an award most dedicated at school, at the training school there. So that's something that I've tried to carry on from early in my career, and I still continue to carry it this day. Killer was a great teacher, and he was a great man, obviously, and I know he's very missed.
What's a super easy way to tell that your bed is awful? The raw egg test. Let me prove it.
Hi, Eddie. David Dunn, New Zealand Pro Wrestling Informer again. Obviously, this injury put you in hospital pretty gruesome. Is that the first major injury that you've had, or have you been banged up before in your career?
No, I've been playing, stitches and cuts before, and broken elbow, broken heel, separated shoulders, and I've had a decent amount here and there. The knee surgery, but all in all, for how long I've been doing it, and I feel like the style that I've done, I feel like I've escaped so far pretty lucky, knock on wood.
Eddie, you got a question, your reaction to yesterday's Baseball Hall of Fame announcement with 4 guys going in. Jim Thome, Vlad Guerrero, what else we got here? Chipper Jones and Trevor Hoffman.
Yeah, I've obviously guys. It's getting to the point where it's guys that I grew up watching. So it's cool to see, these guys that were so prominent in the game when I was, growing up, to see them now in the Hall of Fame. It's cool to see, but it's also kind of sad to see because it just means I'm getting older, which is not nice.
Hello there, it's Francis Reyes from Amy Pop again. I want to know, Eddie, so what's your plans for Valentine's Day with you? Have you got anything special planned, or any advice you can give any of the media out there for, with the significant others?
As of now, we don't have an exact plan. I think the wife actually might have jury duty, but, over the last few years, I've been away for the majority of the Valentine's Day, which obviously sucks, but it also makes my time home much more special. And you can't go wrong with flowers and chocolates. Yeah, edible arrangements, that's always a good one. So don't be afraid to get those treats. But I try not to focus on just the one day Valentine's Day. We try to make the most of it anytime we're together, and I think that everybody should do that.
Adam Davey of the Impact Lounge emailed in. Where would you rank the Wolves all time among tag team wrestling?
Yes, that's not my job to do. I can't rank us. It's number one in my heart, number one in my mind. But that's not up to us not up to me to decide. It's up to the fans and whoever else. I can't be unbiased on that.
Hey, Riju from Sportskeeda again. My question is, I had interviewed you in before your performance in India, and you said you were looking forward to it. How was your experience in India, and would you like to come back again?
Yeah, it was cool. It was obviously my first trip to India, so to be able to do that as part of Impact Wrestling and for the Impact television tapings, it was cool to see the fans and the people of India. They fully embraced us, and I tried to do the same when I was over there. I wanted to obviously eat the food, the local food, the Indian food and stuff like that, and walk around and see just see the area. I try to do that anywhere I go, but so I made sure to do that when I went to India. Unfortunately, I did get sick at the end. I admit it. I got sick when I came back home, but it wasn't too bad. So all in all, it was definitely worth it. And then, of course, I'd be happy to go back again. Hopefully, it'll be with Impact Wrestling.
What kind of tour guide is Sanjay Dutt?
He could be better.
Hey, Eddie, it's Mike Johnson from PW Insider again. There's been a lot of changes in the roster of Impact. As a performer who just said he's staying for the foreseeable future, what do those changes mean to you in terms of your standing with the company as far as you're concerned, in terms of how they use you, and in terms of excitement, because when people leave, others have to come in. So obviously there's fresh and creative juices that also flow. So what's it like being someone that's watching all these changes and working in the midst of them?
Yeah, like you said, people leave and new people come in, and people have to step up. It's either sink or swim for a lot of guys. People are getting their shot, on TV, on television product. You gotta show you can do, or else you're not gonna last. So that's definitely a good time to see, and a good thing to see is either sink or swim, boys. So jump in and do it. As far as myself, I continue doing the same thing. I worry about my stuff in the ring. I can't control things in the back. It's kind of the attitude. I know we talked before. It's the attitude I've always had, where I just do my thing. My stuff's in the ring. That's all I can really concern myself with, to try to represent myself to the best of my abilities, and just kind of let everything unfold and see where the chips lay in the end.
All right. Thank you, sir.
Thanks, dude.
Stephanie for Stitcher Magazine again. I'd like Mike Johnson quoted, there's been a lot of change in the roster, and you may be one now of the veterans of the roster. And I wanted to ask you, like Sanjay Dutt, like Abbas or Gail Kim, are you interested in being creative, being behind the scenes, and being your own talent? Is something you want to do with Impact or with other company, or for your own, with maybe your own training? Thank you. Merci.
Thank you. I think right now, I just want to be able to focus on my stuff in the ring. I wouldn't want anything to affect what I do out there. And I don't know if I'd be able to put up those names that you mentioned. They're very unique and very special because they have the talent to be able to do both, and that's tough to do. They're some of the very best at it. I would like to possibly do some training down the road, but not anytime soon, because I just need to focus on what I'm doing in the ring and performing the best of my ability right now.
Thank you again.
Thank you.
Hey, Eddie, this is Graham Matthews with Inroad.com again. In the last 4 years you've been with Impact, you've obviously worked with multiple talents, a lot of great talent. In the 4 years that you've been there, has there been any talent that you had not got a chance to work with that's been there at the same time that you have been, that you wish you could have worked with?
We were able to do a 3-way tag match with Kurt Angle when he was still there, but I would have obviously loved to have had a singles match with him. That's one. unfortunately I missed out on. And even as of right now, I've never been in the ring with Alberto El Patron, so that's one that I'd like to be able to check out the bucket list at some point.
Hey, Riju from Sportskeeda again. What are your thoughts on your former tag team partner, Davey Richards, pursuing a career outside wrestling in medicine?
It's amazing. He's always been that way. He's always had his goal set on becoming a doctor, and he's a firefighter, and he's a flight medic. It's amazing. It was always amazing to see him go through the whole process, go through school and everything. He'd always be studying.
If you'd like to ask a question, your request has been received.
He's one of those guys that he just fully engulfs himself in what he wants to do. And for a while there, it was wrestling and it was medicine and going to school and that. So I'm very proud of what he's done. He's saving lives. I'm not doing that. So I'm very grateful that he's doing what he's doing, and I miss him.
All righty, we got a final question. We'll go to Ryan for the final question today.
Hey, Ryan Bowman from thegorillaposition.com again. You are a well-traveled veteran, as was stated earlier, and you have been all over the world. Through all the years, with the nagging injuries and all that travel, what do you have to do as far as changing up not just your style in the ring, but your day-to-day schedule as you progress and become a veteran and get older?
You just have to be smart about everything. Like you said, from the style in the ring, but obviously home, you have to, you want to rehab and, be preventative as far as injuries and stuff like that. Because, these days the bumps and bruises, they seem to last a little bit longer and, come a little bit easier. So it's just all about being preventative. You just got to take care of your body the best you can. Obviously, some things are you can't avoid or unavoidable, much like getting hit in the face with a baseball bat. But other than that, you just do your best to take care of your body. You got to be smart because I don't plan on finishing up anytime soon. So the longer I can do this, the better.
All righty, Eddie, I appreciate your time very much. What's the final thought for today? What's on your mind?
Today the final thought. Obviously, I can't get the feeling of Sami hitting me in the eye. I lay down and I can still feel the bat hitting me in the eye, and it's not pleasant. I don't know if you would expect that it would be, but it's not very pleasant. So today, tomorrow, next week, the month from now, 6 months from now, my focus is to get my hands on Sami and OVE and try to get a little revenge, to get some payback. I think that's definitely in the works for me.